Intern and J. Stevens, watching documentaries so you don't have to. 104.7 The Cave.
104.7 The K, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens in the studio for another riveting edition of Dark Side of the Stream, episode 270.
So you don't have to.
Yeah, we do that at the end. And you just sang it. You guys repeat. You just sang
were
this
we
whole,
recording when I did that?
Phone calls every Thursday.
Oh, that's right. I
Who do you
sang it.
Who do you got singing on the beginning of that thing?
This guy sucks.
I don't even listen long enough
those,
to
please,
know his name.
so I can use them as my show as sweepers when people. All complaint calls will be aired on the air for my show. Right.
Oh man. I still laugh about that one.
I know, dude.
Anyway, big props to Magic Tyler for helping me do this last week with Seven Samurai.
Yeah, how did that go? Anyway,
it was great. He loved it. He thumbs up. He just gave you the thumbs up. Also, you missed out on episode 269.
Oh, now I got to wait a whole another 100.
Why? Well, he was trying to get some 269 on the cruise ship.
I was out on the high seas getting my own 69.
Can we? You don't want to talk about? You want to talk about?
No, let's not talk about the. I know where you're headed.
I know.
All right, Dark Side of the Stream.
It really is
this
a sore
week's was my
subject.
pick.
It really is a sore subject.
This week's was my pick, and I picked the Jeff Buckley documentary on HBO Max.
Okay, so before we get into this stuff, and you hopefully by now you understand that Jay and I are like chocolate and vanilla. We agree on a lot of stuff, but we disagree on a lot of stuff too, as far as like our taste in
musical taste
and what we're into, and the stuff we play and write and all that stuff. Whatever. At this point in the history of popular music or music in general, when Grace was released, we're talking the mid '90s. Okay, so. We're on the other end of grunge.
Hair band kind of ended. It's the tail end of the grunge.
It's really like everything. I mean, there were artists like this, mainly female, because this was around the same time like Lilith Fair or Lilith Tour and all that stuff started. There were vocalists like this that were around the time, but more also R&B. D'Angelo would be another great example of that. God rest his soul, unbelievable vocalist. But for me, I have this record. I've had this record forever. I love this album. I'm talking about Grace, Jeff Buckley's record. But I don't know. This was just something you're like, I've heard of this guy?
Yeah, somehow the Jeff Buckley thing, that little era, I guess, or at least him. Slipped under my radar because I was obviously involved in music and stuff like that. And I had heard Jeff Buckley's name, but I never really listen to what he does or what his songs are at all. I know even my daughter, one of her songs that she's written, she talks about Jeff Buckley in one of her songs. She's even hipper to him than I was. And this is 2 years ago, this song.
Hendrix.
Right? Hendrix, yeah. But,
or should we say thank you TikTok or whatever streaming
I think
platform.
One of her friends is into him or something.
Yeah.
But my gosh, what an amazing talent, vocalist. Like, what an amazing vocalist.
I mean, if he had been born in the, if he had been around and popular in the mid to late 50s, 60s, he would have been a croner all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Crooner, yeah.
He could have been a Chet Baker. He's not the same kind of vocal like Frank, but like he would have been able to vocalize and do that style, or just been a soul artist too.
One of those rare voices that's kind of a unisex voice, where it's genderless basically
because of his range.
Yeah,
and his timbre too, because that I think also the way he's able to, because it's difficult, at least for me, being a tenor or a baritone, really, to get seamlessly to go through like registers up and up and up, because you kind of have to change from like to where you're like almost with your throat, you know what I mean?
Seamless.
He does it like Freddie did it. He does it in a way kind of like Axl does it, but just a different way of that register.
Kind of changes that register though. It's almost like Sam Smith, if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
Same type of voice. Yeah.
And also too, that's the other thing about Buckley. That's also is you brought Sam Smith up. All these guys that have since come through after that boy band push in the late '90s that went on to be massive superstars. Robbie Williams, Sam Smith, who's a redheaded kid that plays the acoustic guitar, open for the
Ed
Stones,
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. you see what I'm saying? Like Jeff Buckley is like the proto version of those,
and a talented guitar player. Too.
Oh, dude, was so badass.
Like he was almost too talented for his own good, maybe.
No,
like maybe that's what his demise, because he was an odd character.
I mean, he lived. I mean, well,
and he
to understand him,
he didn't want to be that famous.
He's just a musician. Just wanted to play.
Yeah.
We're getting too much into it in just the first segment. We got to bank this up into 4. So let's come back. It's Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave.
Dark Side of the Stream, Mike the Intern and Jay Stevens. Watching documentaries so you don't have to. 104.7 The Cave.
Jay Stevens, Mike the Intern, back in the studio. It is episode 260 of Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. This was Jay's pick this week. 270. What did I say?
You said 260.
260? Oh my God.
I wish we could go back in time.
That'd be awesome. I wouldn't go. I would go a lot further than that, though.
I'd go further, too.
Way further than that. This week was Jay's pick, documentary about Jeff Buckley. We'll go back to the beginning. If you aren't familiar with Jeff Buckley's father, Tim Buckley, you should definitely check him out.
Yeah,
also, incredible artist, incredible output of music. Tragically lost his life due to an overdose. And
not the best father in the world. Probably.
No. I think, if I remember correctly,
Jeff
maybe met him one time.
Yeah, his mom took him to a show to see him play.
Yeah, met him one time, and then
spent a week with them or something, and
then he passed. And I don't even think he was allowed to go to the funeral.
I know he performed at the tribute thing or whatever, and that's where people first went, "Oh my gosh, this guy's got some talent."
Hey, it's his kid. Oh my God, he's got a better voice than his dad.
Yeah,
I mean, not to say that Tim doesn't have a great voice. It's just not the same.
Jeff Buckley was a rare talent.
Yeah.
And when you guys got guys like Chris Cornell saying how amazing you are, like, dude. So.
He kind of did his thing, bumped around coast for a while, was in California, then he went to New York.
Playing in little coffee shops.
Yeah, tried to do the busk. It's almost like a busking kind of thing, and just playing where you can. Didn't really get, started to kind of get some word of mouth based on those performances.
Yeah, they'd be packed houses.
But inevitably, what helped him was his dad's old manager that kind of keyed him into, like, hey, I'll give this guy a shot.
Dude.
And then he would inevitably put a band together and put out an album called Grace, which again is it's such a, you listen to that album, and at least for me, it's not indicative of any period, because it encapsulates
it's
so many.
Moody too. It's very
you know me. I mean,
vibey and moody. It's like, it's not that commercial mainstream stuff that I tend to lean more towards, So
it's a non-commercial, really well thought out, high level musicianship that Mike the Intern listens to.
High level feelings and emotions.
I'm not afraid to dive in to my emotional state.
See what I have to deal with?
See? Who's swimming in the deep end and who's still in the kiddie pool? Tyler, you just hear Tyler laugh. Or was that my kid? Either one.
Yeah, we got your kid's dying laughing over here. And Tyler, I can't see his face. We got these new computer screens in here. We spent so much money on this studio, and now I can't see Tyler.
He's just got a computer head. Anyway, yes, you are absolutely right. Now, if you also realize that at that same period, at least in my life, that was when like bands like Radiohead were really taking hold. It was around the same, Grace and the Bends came out around the same time. That style of music I want to say they were kind of thrown in together for a minute, like Alanis Morissette, kind of all that stuff.
Alanis Morissette.
But again, I want to I know I'm going to keep hitting this thing over and over and over again. Buckley's stuff is so much more jazz and soul than really anything other than like art. Like I mentioned D'Angelo, but it's also got this like Americana feel to it. It's just it's its own thing.
Well, and they even said that the guys from Radiohead went to see him perform.
Yep.
Went straight to a studio and said, "We're writing a song," and that's where they wrote "Fake Plastic Trees." Yep. Yeah. Wow.
I know. And again,
dude,
game recognizes game.
Yeah.
How many people have you ever heard in your life that went to see a show of Motley Crue and they were like, I am so inspired right now to go, Vince, help me write
Dude,
this
that's why I do what I do. That's why I do.
You're
That's why I am what I am, man.
But you're singing the same song. I'm talking about you were inspired.
So write a Motley Crue song?
Yeah. Now I'm talking about anyone famous that's worth their weight. Not Vince Neil. Not you or I.
How many people do you think? I wonder what Chris Cornell would have said about Vince Neil.
He would have demolished him. He would have demolished him. He would have put.
Tyler's throwing up horns.
He would have punched a hole through him. Yeah, that's what Chris Cornell would have done. He'd have punched a hole through him. It's kind of like that scene in Empire Records where they ask what. Oh God, I can't remember the two artists. The kid, what would he do in this? And he'd say, would he stop by and help? Axl Rose was driving the car. And I think it was Rex Manning. If Rex Manning was broken down on the road and Axl was driving, what would Axl stop and help him? And then the response was, does Axl have a jack? Like as a joke, you know? But then the other kid goes, no, man. Axl would throw it into fifth gear, bear down, and knock that sucker out. And it's like, yeah, that's what Chris Cornell would do if he saw Vince Neil on the side of the road. And that would be perfect karma since Vince Neil actually killed someone while drunk behind the wheel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how it should work. But unfortunately, it's not working. Anyway, back to Jeff Buckley. I'm glad that you brought up the Radiohead connection because that was another point I wanted to make is that Jeff, while his output, there were other things, demos and stuff that came out after he passed and stuff, but it is a damn travesty that he lost his life right as he was starting to just go.
Yeah, man.
And what he could have done throughout his life, and it wasn't like he was a heroin addict or did something nefarious. The way he passed was so stupid. But it's one of those things where some people just want to live free, and you take chances with your life. Eventually, it's going to get taken, and we'll talk about how he lost his life next. It's Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave.
Dark side of the stream, Mike the Intern and Jay Stevens, watching documentaries so you don't have to. 104.7 The Cave.
Jay Stevens, Mike the Intern, back in the studio. It is Dark Side of the Stream, episode 270. This week was Jay's pick about Jeff Buckley. Originally, Brad Pitt was the one who tried to get the funding to make this happen.
Wow.
Buckley was very, again, back to Radiohead. They got a lot of buzz early on because of all the actors around that time period saying
cool guys.
My favorite record right now is OK Computer.
Yeah.
Same thing with Buckley. It was like Grace, and Pitt was a massive fan of him, which he's got good taste. He also loves Radiohead, so I get that. But it just never really came to fruition until recently.
And interestingly, a lot of his influence was very odd, female artists from the 40s and stuff like
Nina
that.
Simone.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
and
man.
again, because that's what I listen to all the time. That's why I love Buckley so much. It's hard for me to listen to him because it makes me so sad about what could have been. I'm glad we have that record, but he's again the culmination of all the things that I love as an artist in the mid 90s. Which is when I'm a teenager. So Grace was just hugely influential.
And he started, not wanting to deal with the corporate.
Also through his life, he did things his own way.
Yeah.
And that, I think,
the record company started saying, hey, come on, we need to let's go. Let's get this going.
Look how popular this is. Let's go. I'm going to do it when I do it.
Hey, man, I'm doing my
thing. Yeah. And so one night he's in Memphis. They get done with the show, I believe, and him and a buddy go down.
Writing, where they were writing.
Or maybe they were recording.
Yeah.
They get done doing something, and him and a buddy go down to the Mississippi River and decide to jump in, which I grew up on the Mississippi River in Cape Girardeau. I have swam in it. It's not the cleanest place, but there are places that you can actually get in, and kind of with the sand dunes and stuff that are safer-ish. You don't really want to go past where you can touch and feel and swim.
It's that intense.
Dude, the undercurrent is insane. I mean, that river is massive. And not only that, it's a commercial river. And so since there are so many barges and ships and stuff that go up and down that thing, it's constantly it's in a state of just boom. And so that's essentially what happened to Buckley is he just was swimming, got caught in that undercurrent from a boat, and they found him right on the shore the next day or something like that.
Yeah.
toxicology reports was fine. He wasn't like out of his mind or ripped or anything like that. He just wanted a dude that wanted to go swimming. And so my caution to you is, if you ever find yourself in the east side of the state of Missouri and you decide you want to go swimming in Mississippi, I wouldn't do that. I would go north to a town called La Crosse, Wisconsin, where the top of the Mississippi is, and it's still, or is it maybe the Missouri? I think it's either Missouri or Mississippi. I might be getting this messed up.
If you want to go in there.
But it's gorgeous up there because it's protected. It's not through all the, we haven't hit all the pollution yet. So, and the fishing up there is just, oh man, it's unbelievable. But yeah, a horrific, tragic loss of life. I feel awful for his mother.
Yeah, because they had a rough go. They had some butt heads. I mean, there's a story that she was parked right outside of the show when he was getting ready to play, and she's out there smoking weed in the car. And at the time, that was really frowned upon. And so, and girlfriend problems, and
and also, I mean, he probably took his stance about substance because of his father and what his father went through. And I get the stigma behind marijuana, but if you're going to be okay with having a drink, then you should be okay with smoking a joint. Unless you're going to be straight edge and not do anything, then you can talk all the trash you want on me or anybody else if you want to. But after that he was working currently on a record. They did release it in demo form. It's okay. It would have been great to kind of see what he could have done. Because again, like I said, with Grace, it's just like, wow, who is this talented guy? At that point, now he could, I mean, unless he wanted to continue working with the same guys, he could have like approached the next one like a Van Morrison record or something. You know what I mean? And just brought in like all these Juilliard musicians and said, "This is my song," and then work it out and do it just like those records.
Like he was wanted to take some time with it,
And it's unfortunate we never really got to hear that, but we did get Grace. And if there's anything I can say to take away from this conversation today about Jeff Buckley, is buy that album if you don't already have it. We'll be back to talk our reviews about this documentary next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7.
Dark Side of the Stream, Mike the Intern and Jay Stevens, watching documentaries so you don't have to. 104.7 The Cave.
104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens in the studio. It is Dark Side of the Stream, episode 270. We've got to the end of the documentary.
We just got critiqued by Mike's kid who said, double thumbs down bad.
You don't even know what we're talking about. Finished his can of Pringles. He's just waiting for us to get out of here. So
what do you rate it, Mike?
I mean, again, like first of all, we did the Seven Samurai and we didn't really talk about what we were going to watch next. And so when he got back, I was like, hey, he's like, oh, bro, I watched this thing. And he goes, Jeff Buckley. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Mr. Vince Neil himself?
Hey, man, I love documentaries, especially when I don't know much about the person.
What blows me away is that you don't hear him and go, oh, my God, that's amazing. It's more of, I saw the dude's life, and then I'm like, okay, I see.
Well, I heard his voice in the documentary.
Yeah.
This guy's incredible, man.
Yeah, he is. 4.5 for sure.
Yeah.
Straight.
Same, 4.5. It was great. I learned a lot, and it's, like I said, real talented cat, man.
Yeah. Check it out. It's great. Next week's my pick. Another documentary about a musician. This one a little bit more famous. Paul McCartney, Man on the Run. It's on Prime. Can't wait to talk about that guy. And he is definitely my favorite Beatle. As always, we do this live every Thursday, 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. You can watch it on Facebook or YouTube at the same time. Or if you can't make it, you can always download it as a podcast for free on our 104.7 The Cave app. I'm Mike the Intern. That's Jay Stevens reminding you.
We watch documentaries so you don't have to.